Welcome back, my royal fiends, to another installment of 4 Monarch gameplay and another bonus one. If you guys saw the last video, you'll know what this bonus will be. But yeah, really enjoying this deck. 2 different versions of the deck. Like I mentioned, there's a no extra deck version where I have the extra deck lock with the field spell Domain of the True Monarchs. It's the name of this series. And again, I'm forcing people to go first and see how they instantly pass, so you could kind of get a guess of what they're playing. This is Mikanko, most likely. They maxing me. I have an Ash. Here, just hand loop yourself, buddy. That's fine. And I draw 2 into another Ash, which is still fine. It's actually good, even though I can't use it because I could normal it into Ogre, Synchro into Baron, etc., etc. But yeah, they just they fold after I just show them 3 different cards. They're like, I don't like this. So on to game 2. These first 2 games are going to be a little bit quicker. Don't worry, the last 2 games are going to be more or less like real games. But yeah, essentially that's the more efficient and the more wins I'm racking up, right? Is the more I'm playtesting this deck and I'm narrowing it down, and I think it could be something that's actually like real and viable and like a completely viable anti-meta strategy. So here's 2 set cards, sure. Pantheism for Prime. Okay, they ashed that. That's okay. It's got a second effect. This card's fucking insane. So let me grab 3 Stormforth. They give me the second Pantheism. They don't know what the fuck is about to hit them, right? I got the second Prime Monarch. So yeah, I'm gonna draw 2 anyway. Into the Fenrir. Grab myself an Ogre. Yeah, and to prep and just go into battle phase. 24-28 to the dome. Can't complain. Yeah, this is not Mikanko, which is interesting. It was SwordSoul, so I was like, oh, they just bricked them? I was like, what? I assume one of them is Imperm, so that's why I go into Dark Armed to bait one of them now. I was correct. And this might look weird. I do this effect again because I want both of these targets into my grave for Naturia Births. I haven't used it this turn. I like the options. They called by 1. I'm like, you idiot, I could still use it. I'm the idiot. This is my only misplay really of this game. I bring back the Fenrir, which is dumb because he's still gonna be negated next turn. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's why they did that, huh? So I should have brought the Ogre because now I can't bring out the Ogre. It's in the grave, right? Not the hand or Banner Zone. So I should have done Ogre last turn, and then I could have used Prep to grab the Fenrir, which still would have been negated, but I would have had an Ogre up. But it didn't really matter because I was like, what the fuck? How bad did you brick, my guy? I was like, what's going on here? And then they really throw me for a loop here. Watch this. Tribute summon a shootout? And then they surrender. I was like, yeah, I don't think that was the move either, my guy. I don't know what the fuck that was. But anyway, just me. These next 2 games might be a little bit more of real games, more or less. If not, I know our bonus game will come through. But these 2 games were just from today. That's why I was recording this. I was like, oh, I don't have anything recorded. I just uploaded something yesterday, the day before. I'm just chilling out with this, right? I'm not pressuring myself too much with recording and uploading or even playing because of how busy my life has been. But, yeah. This was like part of my win streak. I didn't realize I was on a win streak today. I was like, oh, Runick. I'm like, oh boy, Runick. But I was like, oh, Runick, Naturia. Okay, like it's somewhat playable, right? They're not like playing stun, so I'm not like immediately mad. This is the master border. They're playing the same deck that won Worlds, right? So you're like, it's competitive, but at least I have the evenly, right? Dedicated going second deck. And by the way, like most of the time I am choosing to go second. Like this is de facto a going second deck. I've confirmed that now. So anyway, evenly they try to do a bunch of these quick play Runick stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to Dark Armed, right? Response? No response. Okay. And guys always do that, right? Because it could protect the fountain. Do it again, since it's not once per turn. And I'm able to cast your Birth, bring back my Unicorn. So in case they have a monster effect next turn, I will absolutely be ripping out the whatever that fusion is out of their extra deck. They do this. Little does my opponent know, cast your Birth. Yeah, they're like, oh no, I think it's over. They're gonna just tilt and instantly call that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I still outplayed my opponent. They went first. They had, I think, all the Runick stuff to I guess make them win. I guess the only thing that was unfair to them was my evenly, but I don't know. I feel like the Runick cards are pretty unfair. Although the cash tier is literally like the anti-Runick strategy, specifically when you have Birth out, because that stops everything that they're trying to do. They activate nothing but spells, and it banishes them from the graveyard face down. They do not appreciate that, right? So again, I make my opponent go first. They set one and pass to me. So I'm like, well, I have Tenacity because I have the Tenacity target, Majesty's Fiend. So I'll be able to Pantheism something that I could grab. Or the Stormforth, since I won't need a Stormforth. And then I could Pantheism again to grab another Pantheism or Stormforth. I make them think that I want the Stormforth. I just want the Pantheism for follow-up for next turn. I look what they're playing. I'm like, oh, Purrely summon limit. I was like, oh boy, okay. Because I was probably just gonna go into like a Baron, I think, or probably just maybe standard XZ's plays. But I was like, no, we'll do the slow one. We'll do the Majesties, distribute over the Ogre, set 3. The only one that matters is gonna be Prep, I guess. So I'm like, interesting. And then yeah, they stop that. I mean, hey, yeah, you're under Majesties, but you put you're under Majesties, excuse me. But you also put yourself under summon limit. So, not the smartest move for my opponent, but that one did get me to Diamond 3. So I am Diamond 3 now, which is strange. I think I'm ahead of schedule compared to last season when I demoted all the way the fuck down to 5. So please check the Diamond 5 from almost promoting the Master. So please check that series out if you haven't, guys. And here's me actually outplaying my opponent. I went second with Rika. I did not choose this. Obviously, you never want to go to second with Rika unless you deck build for that. But I did not. Typically, people do not. It's not the strongest going second. But you can do very well going second if you know how your cards work and you know what your opponent wants to do, right? It's math mech time. Bystials aren't as rampant, right, without tier. They Ibly lock me. It's very annoying. So I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way since I don't have a lingering bow. We'll see if this keeps happening. I will put one in the extra. You don't want to have to do it in Rika because you kind of want the extra deck space for the stuff that you want to do and your backups. Wow, you even had the Imperm. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're doing this the hard way then, right? Arrow Mage, Princess, Tribute the Princess, grab myself a Petal so I could go into Mudan and grab myself a Field Spell. So I'm like, well, I think the way that I win this is just Con control. I'm just going to tribute over my opponent's monsters. Exhibit A. Because I can't target this one while the other one was out, whatever that transcode is. And I tribute over Mudan. So instead of making them into 2/8s, again, I go into Strenna, Rika Queen Strenna, to make them a 4, whatever, and for follow-up, essentially. I put this into this zone. Yeah, so I figured that my opponent's dumb, and they're going to do another Decode Talker. I mean, it's not dumb. It's a free card, right? They're going to do that, so now they're going to be lower than me, so they're not going to be able to beat over these guys. And if they want to do something funny or interesting, I still got a Princess in here. I could use the Tribute that. Okay, clear that field. They have a Circular. Now is when I attribute my own Strenna, grab their Circular instead of putting it in the grave. No. At Periton, Monster Negate. And I instantly Monster Negate whatever that is in grave. I'm like, small world. Small world. What the fuck is this? Okay. So Lady Debug. Link 2 into Splash Damage. I'm like, are they going to be able to access code me? Like, I don't know if they will. And they just surrender after that. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to complain. I went second against MathMech, who Ibly locked me. I feel like that was your game to lose. I don't know, man. And I didn't feel like reading their cards, and I just want to pretend like I was just the better player, which I was in this instance. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for some more spicy gameplay. Do let me know if you are interested in Rika. That's why it's just a bonus. But I am having so much fun with the Naturia Monarch stuff, guys. And let me know if you have a preference over the extra deck lock or if you think that's dumb. Just more of the Naturia stuff with Monarch. Either way, I'm having a blast. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you around, motherfuckers.